Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about what are the different types of laws are available. And basically, everyone knows about what you mean by business law. Rules and regulation or various provision where it is incorporated by the government under various act to facilitate the trade, commercial activities. So those things will comes under the business law. So under this, we are going to discuss about different types of law. First, I'm going to discuss about what you mean by substantive and procedural law. Substantial law, which is talking about a law, right, which indicates, which regulates the basic rights and obligations. Now, see, for example, if you want to stay in a rented house or a rented apartment, right? So when you are contacting the owner, as per the rules and regulations of the respective state government, and as per the rules and regulation of the right, the rental agreement, right, of the state, the owner will follow a certain rules and regulations as per the act, right? It can be a contract act, right? Or it can be whatever the progress or whatever the activities they are going to engage between you and the opponent party. Accordingly, the rules and regulations will be followed. So if the owner is following the basic rights and duties and responsibilities, right, in providing a house or apartment for a rent, that is comes under the substantial law. There is another law called procedural law, which is talking about what is the procedure or the mechanism or the techniques or the system that you have to follow to get into the agreement between you and the owner. For example, same, if you want to stay in an apartment or rented house, right, there are certain guidelines given by the owner as per the certain rules and regulations. So you have to abide the various rules and regulations. Following those regulations and obeying that, right, that's just talking about the procedural law. That is, as a tenant, right, as a tenant, we have to obey the rules and regulations. We have to follow the procedure or the guidelines or the instructions given by the owner. So if you are not following, if you are violating, then automatically it comes under the you are violating the law. So this is talking about the procedural law. Both substantive and procedural law coming under a basic types of a law. And next type of law is called as a public law. Right here, the public law is talking about where the basic rights and the powers, regulations given by the respective government. It is for what purpose? For the welfare of the society, for the people, those who are living in this society, for the public. Whereas the private law, it is done, it is administered between the two individuals, right? If you see, for example, right, a private law says that if you are staying in a rented house and you are paying a rent for it, and in any cases, if you are not paying a rent or if you are not following the particular things, right, the owner can file a complaint against you, and he can claim for any compensation, any relief, or he can sue for any compensation. So this is done by the right law, that means rules which has been enacted, established by the particular individual owner. It is not given by the government. Government are given the general rules and regulation, the rights and power. But here, owner is following exclusive rights with respect to the your stay or with respect to your agreement or a contract. That comes under the private law. The next type of law is talking about the civil and criminal law. Most probably, every student, right, everyone knows about the civil law and criminal law. A civil law, right, if anything that you are doing, right, or anything that you are doing against the law or violating the rules and regulation, where it affects a individual or a group or a community or a city or a location or an environment. That is comes under the civil law, right? When you are filing a case under this particular civil law, right, you have to use various respective terms. Now, if you see, for example, you have that there is a dealer, right, a person called Mr. Arish. So Arish has purchased a new bike from a dealer for 42,500 rupees. A dealer, right, he delivered the motorcycle to him, right? And he agreed to pay 7,500 per month to the dealer as a right monthly installment amount. But after getting a bike, Harish did not do this payment. He is refused to do. Right now, what you can do, dealer can file a case after requesting many times. If Harish is not following the rules and regulations, dealer can file a case against office that not for paying amount on a monthly basis, and he can take to the court, and the court can take a right judgment, and they can take a court, they can take a case, and then they can give the judgment, and then they can instruct Harish either to pay the amount or to refund the motorcycle. This is comes under the civil law, where it takes place between the two people because of incident, because of the activity done by the one person. It reflects or it affects the other persons. Whereas criminal law, the way you are doing the things, right, it is against the society, or it's against our country's policy, against our country's Indian constitutions, or against the state government or the central government or whatever it is. Anything that you are against as per the regulations or the law of the local or a state or a central government or anything, that is comes under the criminal law. Now, basically, you know, right, when you are involved in any illegal activities or crime activities, right, or a thief or a murder, right, or kidnap, or whatever it is, these are all against the law. As per the regulations, as per Indian Constitution, you should not be involved in this. But you are violating the rules and regulations, and you have created a problem. In that case, that comes under the criminal law. I hope this video is helpful for you to understand the what are the different types of law comes under the business law. Right. So with that, we will end this lecture, and we will discuss about the other category, other sources, and other types of contract in my next video. Thank you.